Hi, I'm Emily from Grad Student Finances. In my previous video, I showed you that grad students can't contribute to IRAs from their fellowship income. You can only contribute stipend income to an IRA if it is reported on a W-2. But that does not mean that fellowship recipients can't save for retirement at all. One, they may be able to contribute to IRAs with other money, and two, they can save for retirement outside of a tax-advantaged retirement account. If you're receiving a fellowship for your stipend, that money is not eligible to be contributed to an IRA. But maybe you have some other income that is eligible. Remember that your taxable compensation can come at any point in the calendar year. If you had a real job or internship, your funding source changed between one school year and the next, or you had a different funding source in the academic year versus the summer, check if any of those sources were taxable compensation. Compensatory pay comes from assistantships rather than fellowships. Did you have any side income in the course of the year that was taxable compensation? If you had a side job that gave you a W-2, that income is taxable compensation. If you were self-employed, for example as a tutor or freelancer, your self-employment income is taxable compensation. However, rental income and investment income are not taxable compensation. If you are married, you file a joint tax return with your spouse, and your spouse has taxable compensation, you can contribute to a spousal IRA. In 2015, you can contribute up to $11,000 or the amount of taxable compensation your spouse has, whichever is lower, between your two IRAs. If you have absolutely no taxable compensation in the course of a calendar year, that does not mean that you can't save for retirement. It just means that you won't be able to use an IRA to do so. It is definitely beneficial to use a tax-advantaged retirement account to save for retirement, but not necessary. You can simply save into a taxable investment account instead. You could choose to put your money into the same investments you would have if you had access to an IRA, or you could choose more tax-efficient investments, such as index funds. When you invest in a taxable account, you will be responsible for paying taxes yearly on some of the gains in that account. However, you may be surprised by how little you are paying in taxes if you subscribe to a buy and hold investment strategy. The growth in your investments is only taxed in a given year when you sell the investment. So if you hold an investment for multiple years, you will not pay taxes on it for those years and only a long-term capital gains tax rate when you sell. The federal tax rate on long-term capital gains and qualified dividends is 0% for people in the 15% marginal tax bracket and below. You may still have to pay state taxes on that income, but still, as far as times in your life to have a taxable account go, this is a pretty good one. In future years, you will very likely have access to a tax-advantaged retirement account like an IRA or a workplace-based account. At that time, you may have the option to de facto transfer your taxable retirement savings into your new tax-advantaged account. You can't do so directly, but rather must still follow the contribution limits in those years for those accounts. For example, if later in grad school you have access to an IRA and want to contribute $3,000 of your income in that year into it, you would still have $2,500 of contribution room, assuming 2015 contribution limits. You could take $2,500 from your taxable retirement account and put it into the IRA above your contributions for that year alone. In this manner, you may be able to get all your retirement savings into tax-advantaged accounts. However, you might also choose to leave the investments in the taxable account if you are already maxing out your contribution room with your current income, or you don't want to create a taxable event by selling your taxable investments. That choice is really up to you and the long-term goals you set. Just know that even if you put money into a taxable account that you have earmarked for retirement, it doesn't have to stay there forever. Having access to a tax-advantaged retirement account like an IRA is certainly a big benefit. However, either saving for retirement is one of your current goals or it's not. Your contribution eligibility for an IRA, or lack thereof, really shouldn't influence whether or not you set that particular goal. I wish you all the best in your retirement savings goals and tax minimization strategies. If you have any further questions about saving for retirement in grad school or anything else about personal finance for grad students, please email me or contact me through social media. I can't wait to hear from you.